It's time to pour it, stir it up, and serve it up. This is the Morning Coffee Podcast Show, your unofficial wake-up call. Here to help you live your best life and revolutionize your relationships, faith, inspiration, and love. Start your day the right way with Morning Coffee. Here's your host, Tanisha R. Atkins.
I want to talk to you this morning about change and why change is absolutely necessary. Good morning. You are tuned in to the Morning Coffee Live Show. I'm the host, Tanisha R. Atkins, and I want to welcome you in if this is your first time, or if you're a returning listener, I want to welcome you back. You know, here at Morning Coffee, we are your unofficial wake-up call on a mission to provoke you to change and spiritual growth so that you can live your best life and revolutionize your relationships. Well, good morning, everybody. We are coming to the end of season 3, where we have been talking about taking your life off of the repeat cycle. And this week we've been talking about change and growth and why are we having these repeat cycles in our life. And today we're going to continue the conversation. I want to talk to you about why change is necessary. Now, you know, we all know that we have 4 different seasons. You know, why is it that we have 4 different seasons? Have you ever wondered, why did God give us 4 different seasons? Why couldn't the weather just be one way all the time, right? Well, I believe that each season represents something new, represents a different timing, the weather is different, the way we dress is different. Maybe God did that just to keep us on our toes, to say, don't get so comfortable right here in this season. Maybe he did that as a life lesson for us. I always say that God is the master orchestrator, and everything that he does is strategically done. And so I oftentimes wonder if that's what's happening, if he's saying, I know it's hot outside right now, but don't get comfortable here because it's going to be cooler weather. Or I know it's cold outside right now, and just don't get comfortable here because something else is different. So I want to talk to you about that today. And I'm going to, just kind of be referring to a few situations that happened in my own life and why I had to come to understand that change is necessary. Well, when I was little, I like to talk about my life a lot, but when I was a little girl, my mom used to always tell me, every time I would get a new friend, she would always say, because, when we're little like that, we think, this is just my best friend to the end. It's kind of like when you get your first boyfriend or girlfriend and you're like, this is it forever. We're going to get married and just have a bunch of kids. Well, sometimes we know that life doesn't always pan out that way, and changes in the relationship happen. But here's what I noticed. Every time when growing up, especially, and even I noticed that some now, when I have a relationship with someone, and it's time for that season, the season in my life to change, the first thing God starts doing is changing the people that I hang around. And it's not necessarily because they're bad people. So don't misunderstand me. It's not that, but it's just you come into the presence of people as needed. Sometimes what you need is a push. So God will allow you to be around people that will push you. And then after you got that push and you're up and you're like, okay, now I'm ready. Then oftentimes you'll find that relationship, not all the time, but just oftentimes you'll find that relationship not being the same. Because, you're kind of moving forward, and now God needs to put you in the presence of more people, some different set of people, that now that he's pushed you and now that you're up to the starting line, now these people need to guide you and help get you on down the road. That doesn't mean that the people that pushed you were bad. It doesn't mean that, you can't ever speak to them again, but I'm just telling you that you will find that things will be different. Things will be, when you're around, it's kind of the lingo, you're not really all meshing the same. You're not really speaking the same language anymore. That's God shifting you forward. So that's what I mean when I say change is necessary. Because you could have easily stayed there with the pushers. But remember, the pushers have already served their purpose in your life. So now that you've been pushed, you have to move on. So change is necessary. But a lot of times we don't want to shift because we don't like to get uncomfortable. We don't want to step out of our comfort zone and meet new people. And then let's be honest, some of us just don't like change because even though change is necessary, change doesn't always feel good. It doesn't always feel good not to be able to fellowship with the people that you once fellowship with. You know, you start to kind of feel a sense of separation and loneliness. You get sad a little bit because you miss the fellowship that you had with them. And, you know, maybe a time will come when you can fellowship again before this season, for this new season that God is trying to bring you into. All God is trying to do is get us to, one, to fulfill the purpose that He had for us. And two, you know, we have desires and things that we want and we ask God for. And sometimes He has to close one door to open another one. And it's all for your good. It's all to get you where you're supposed to be. But we just don't like change, you know. And so since we're in season 3 and we're talking about taking your life off the repeat cycle, some of us are just repeating simply because we won't shut that door. Because you won't close that chapter, because you won't let it go. You have to move on. One of the biggest mistakes that we can make is seeing that a change is needed and not making it. If you don't make the change is going to make it for you. It's just like the seasons. Now, you can keep dressing in the shorts. You can keep dressing in the summer clothes. But when the winter comes, you're going to freeze. You're going to be cold. You're going to freeze. And because you're not adapting to the climate. You're still stuck in the summer. And so that's not, then you're going to open yourself up to catching colds and being sick, you see. So it's when change happens, your best bet is to shift with it. So I know we don't like it, but it is what it is. If you really want to live your best life, you got to go from level to level. And I remember one time, just having a best friend. And, we had been best friends for years and years. And I just never thought that we would be to the place where it's like we're not on the same page anymore. I started to notice it, but I didn't want to accept it. It was just little things. And I'm just being very transparent with you all. It was just little things, little comments being made that was like, something is off here. We've never kind of had that. And if you'll think about, in the Bible, when the people were trying to build the Tower of Babel, how God was like, when they speak the same language, you can accomplish anything. So sometimes God has to bring about, I don't want to say confusion, because He's not the author of confusion, but He has to change your lingo, the way the way y'all see things in order for you to get it. I think that's the first sign that that the relationship that you're in is starting to shift, when you're kind of not getting off the same page and kind of, not really seeing things eye to eye anymore. You have to kind of watch and say, okay, what is this, Lord? Is somebody walking in pride, or is this just time for us to shift here? So anyway, change is necessary. You want to take your life off the repeat cycle, you have to make a change. You have to change what you're doing, how you're doing, who you're doing it with. You have to change it up so that you can adapt to where God is trying to take you to. Just always remember, it was necessary. Fantasia sings a song, it was necessary. So the change is necessary. And the sooner you adapt to it, the sooner you sometimes you're going to cry, sometimes you're going to feel sad and lonely sometimes, but just trust the process and just hold on and press through and think about the things that you asked God for and watch who He's bringing you in the presence of now. Like, be open to new people, stay open to look and say, okay, Who am I not paying attention to because I was paying attention too much over here? And then you'll see things. I always focus on the bigger picture. If the relationship ended, it doesn't do any good to sit down and cry about it. Just say it happened to move me forward. You don't see it that way now, but just trust the process. And that's all I got for y'all this morning. So that's it. We're going to take our lives off the repeat cycle. That's been our topic. If you are just not catching us on season 3, I want to encourage you to go all the way back to the beginning of season 3 so that you can get tips on how to take your life off of the repeat cycle. So connect with us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Morning Coffee Live Show. And we'll be back tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. with a brand new episode. Have a great day.